Assalamu alaikum, welcome to Raising Little Muslims, and today I have a very special Ramadan preparation vlog, especially for mothers. Obviously, I'm a mother. I'm raising two kids that are very young and very close in age. And ever since I had my children, I always got this feeling that Ramadan was never going to be the same. And I hate to sound negative, and I know a lot of moms out there, we don't want to sound negative, but sometimes you feel like, well, now that I have children, I don't get to go to the mosque for Taraweeh. I don't get to focus as much on the spirituality of Ramadan because I feel like I'm exhausted, or I'm spending a lot of time in the service of other people and less time on the spirituality of myself. So Ramadan definitely doesn't feel the same anymore once we're moms. Do any of you agree with that? I'm sure you do. So I thought I would talk a little bit about that. I went to a halaqah the other night, and there was a really awesome speaker. I'm sure you've heard of him, Sheikh Omar Suleiman. So I thought, what is he going to teach me about being a mother during Ramadan? He's not a mom, but he actually surprised us. A lot of the things that he talked about were more focused on the fasting, on the three aspects of fasting, and I realized that that's what I needed to be more focused on too. I took a lot of notes at that lecture, and so I wanted to just share some of that information because I thought it was really valuable, and it really changed my perspective on kind of blaming my Ramadan woes on my family instead of just looking at Ramadan in a different way. Because let's face it, when we have kids, our role as a Muslim woman changes, our relationship changes with Islam, and we really have to depend on that independent relationship that you had developed in your heart with your religion, and you really lean on that big time. So it's a big test of your faith when you become a parent. Okay, so first off, I want to tell you the three things that we're going to talk about. Okay, so I'll put them right here because I think I have some extra space over here. First, we're going to talk about how we perceive what Ramadan should be like for ourselves as moms. So perception. The second thing we're going to talk about is the three important types of fasting that we need to focus on. And third is, how do we make that happen? Okay. The first thing is perception. I thought that Ramadan would always be this fun thing that I did with my husband, where food wasn't really as important and we got invited a lot because it was just us, a couple. So people liked inviting just the couple that doesn't have kids. And we would go to so many different mosques to pray Taraweeh. Sometimes we would go to a different mosque each night. And then we would go to a gas station and get crazy smoothies or mix up a bunch of different drinks. And we would stay up later. Like, we didn't mind praying the 20 rak'ah. It was actually more enjoyable. And so that's what I thought Ramadan would always be like. When you have children, that perception changes. You no longer can go and spend all night at the mosque, especially if Ramadan is during the school year. So I have a 6-year-old, Talal, and a 4-year-old, Sissy, okay? I can't drag them to the masjid at 10 o'clock at night because they're snoring at 10 o'clock at night. My kids have a regular bedtime routine, and I do my best not to break that, especially when I know that they have to get up at 6 a.m. and get ready for school the next day. So Ramadan can't really change my kids' whole daytime routine. I need to kind of give them stability. So I stick to that routine. And so that means also that mommy is home with her kids and not at the mosque praying 20 rak'ah anymore. So then Ramadan started to feel less special because I thought that I was still going to do things the exact same way that I did before I had kids. Things changed. You don't have to think of it though as I'm missing out on the rewards of the prayers. I'm missing out on the social aspects, like seeing your friends at prayer and getting that warm Ramadan feeling, that it's a special night every night. All of that, it doesn't have to not exist anymore. All we have to do is realize that now that we have children and now that Ramadan is different, the rewards are different. The reward system is different. What we're doing during our time is different, but not any less of a reward. It's not any less of a benefit. Actually, you're getting double, triple, quadruple rewards because as a mom, you're facing a lot more challenges. We know that during the day, as a mom, you aren't taking a nap, you know, maybe before you had time to take a nap, or you had lots of time to spend just reading Quran, watching lectures on YouTube, you know, things like that. Now that you've got little kids, they may take the iPad away, they may take the TV away. You have to kind of manage your time a little better because you don't get to take a nap. You don't get to just choose whatever you want to do. You still have to be their mom. You don't get to put that on hold just because it's Ramadan. But what you can do is try to manage your time in a better way. And so what I'm definitely trying to implement this year is that I want to put Ramadan first, and I want to prioritize how I spend my time and make sure that Ramadan and my spirituality is coming before just me trying to please my children or trying to please my husband or any friends or family that we may invite. Do we need iftar? Yes. Do we need 7 different dishes? No. Keep iftar simple. You can even pre-cook. You can use your crock pot, use your rice cooker, use the whatever that pot is that's like, I'm gonna make whatever you want in a pot. I forgot the name of it. But you can use your tools to make meals ahead of time, prep, cook. You can do things like that so that it's not like your whole day is spent preparing for iftar. That is not the important part about Ramadan. It's not the iftar. The important part about Ramadan is all of the spiritual aspects that go into Ramadan, okay? I think it's more important that we fast properly, for instance, than it is that I have a huge extravagant meal to serve everybody. When you're having guests for iftar, you may tell your guests, my husband is planning on going to pray, or we're planning on going to pray as a family, Taraweeh prayers, and you are welcome to come with us. And so I just wanted to give you a heads up about that it's very important that we pray Taraweeh, so please come with us. I'll give you a ride to the masjid. It'll be really fun. That way, when you invite guests, you don't have to expect in your mind, I'm providing an extravagant meal for them. I'm gonna spend all night in the kitchen cleaning that meal up while everyone else is going and enjoying their prayers. And my guests are expecting that they're gonna hang out at my house all night instead of going to Taraweeh. So no, eating a large meal and then everyone hanging out, having dessert and coffee and not going to Taraweeh prayer is definitely not an ideal night of Ramadan. So I think having a nice meal that you're feeding people who are fasting, so the reward is awesome for that. So having a nice meal for them that was easy for you to prepare is definitely the way to go. And I would recommend using disposable aluminum trays. You can rinse them out later. You don't have to worry about, oh, I need to wash a million different dishes. You could throw them away if you want to, but definitely try to plan out instead of I want to impress. Try to impress people with the fact that you put Taraweeh first. To me, that's impressive. So, perception. That is basically the new perception that we need to have, that the service of other people is not Ramadan. Ramadan is about the service to Allah. Ramadan is about prioritizing and putting God first and putting our prayers and our fasting and all of these things first, and that everything else that comes with it is a bonus.